there's a objective or a program initiated recently by the Canadian Chamber that identifies the top 10 impediments to competitiveness in Canada. Don't be alarmed by this. I'm not going to go through it in any great detail, but I want to talk about, none of these will come as a surprise to anybody. They deal with things like the skills shortage, and perhaps it's the number one barrier that has been identified by a group of chambers across the country, including ourselves, as an impediment to growth. And certainly the other 9 that follow are perhaps of importance as well, but I don't think any of them are important if we don't get the skills shortage issue right. Without human resources, without the ability to do the things that we've got to do, whether it's productivity or innovation or attracting tourists or whatever it is, we don't have the people to do that kind of work, then we're in some difficulty. And the Chamber has identified within that context, because skill shortages are somewhat of a societal issue. They're not something that the government can push a button and mandate will fix it and let's go do that. And there's a number of silos that exist within the context of what skill shortages are. And whether those are educational or those are driven by demographics, we're all, like it or not, getting older and grayer. And we're not being replaced in the workplace by the same rate. We leave it by younger people coming in. And those that are coming in are not coming in necessarily with a good match for the skills that are required by today's workplace. And so there's a number of things operating that are sort of disjointed and a bit of a silo effect. And we've got to find a way to overcome some of those things. So those are barriers. The Chamber identifies upskilling. We're probably not going to find people in similar numbers to replace us in the workplace. So one of the options available to employers is to improve the skill level and alter the skill level of their employees to do work differently, do it more effectively, do it in a different manner. That's important, and there's ways of doing that. The second one is through immigration. The Chamber's been heavily involved in the last couple of years with both federal and provincial governments on immigration-related issues. The goal being to try to move the immigration policy of the country away a little bit from more of the social family unification that you'll impose of much of our immigration policy of late into something much more economically driven, something that is focused on bringing people to our country that are able to make quick contribution to society and to the economy in general without being necessarily a cost to society. And the other one, the third area, is on education itself. We are graduating an alarming number of people these days, it seems, with universities and post-secondary education institutions in general that don't have necessarily the skills to match the requirements of employers. And that disconnect has been going on for a number of years. Of course, it's never been as prevalent before because the demand or the shortage has never been quite as evident. But this is a challenge, and this is something that, because Canada has no national post-secondary education policy, being the responsibility of the provinces, we have a very much balkanized approach to this whole area. And without that national policy level, it is very difficult for Canada to compete with your countries such as Australia and Great Britain, the United States, and some others that do have national policies and have national identities for foreign students, and that exacerbates the problem in the land. The fourth one, and perhaps the most obvious one to a lot of us, is the opportunity presented to us by Aboriginal peoples in the province, in the country, and the ability to get more and more Aboriginal people involved in our workplace, and do so through program investment in skills development and training